Hey there, friend. Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you were there? Or maybe you've been trying to remember someone's name, but it just slips away like sand through your fingers. It happens to all of us, especially as we get older. But here's the good news: you don't have to accept memory lapses or foggy thinking as an inevitable part of aging. There are things you can do every single day to keep your brain sharp, focused, and even younger than it feels right now. That's what we're diving into today. 6 simple habits that will help you boost your memory and focus naturally. These aren't complicated routines or expensive programs. They're small, practical steps you can start incorporating into your life today. And trust me, they make a big difference. So grab a cup of tea, sit back, and let's talk about how you can take control of your brain health starting right now. Let's start with the very first habit, something I call waking up your brain. Think of it like stretching before a workout, but for your mind. When you wake up in the morning, instead of reaching for your phone or turning on the news, spend 5 minutes doing something that challenges your brain. Maybe it's solving a crossword puzzle, playing Sudoku, or even reciting the alphabet backward. Yes, backward. Sounds silly, but it forces your brain to work in ways it doesn't normally. And when you challenge your brain regularly, it stays strong and agile. I'll tell you a quick story. My neighbor, Margaret, is 72 years old, and she swears by her morning puzzles. She told me she used to feel sluggish in the mornings, like her mind wasn't fully awake until noon. But after adding just 10 minutes of mental exercises to her routine, she noticed a huge difference. Now, she says her mornings are clearer, and she feels sharper throughout the day. Isn't that amazing? All from a few minutes of intentional brain work. Now, moving on to the second habit, staying socially active. You might be wondering, what does talking to people have to do with my brain? Well, more than you'd think. Social interactions are like food for your brain. They stimulate different parts of it, helping you stay mentally alert and emotionally connected. Studies show that people who maintain strong social ties tend to have better cognitive function as they age. But here's the thing, it's not just about being around people. It's about engaging with them, having meaningful conversations, sharing stories, laughing together. Those moments light up your brain in incredible ways. If you're retired or live alone, finding opportunities to connect might take a little effort, but it's worth it. Join a book club, volunteer at a local charity, or invite a friend over for coffee. Even a weekly phone call with a loved one can make a world of difference. A few months ago, I met a woman named Ruth at a community center. She was hesitant to join a group exercise class because she thought she wouldn't fit in. But once she did, she realized how much fun it was to chat with others while staying active. She said those connections gave her a renewed sense of purpose and energy. It reminded me that sometimes, stepping out of our comfort zone is exactly what we need to keep our brains and hearts healthy. Now that we've covered waking up your brain and staying socially active, let's move on to the third habit, which has to do with something we all love: food. Specifically, foods that nourish your brain and give it the fuel it needs to thrive. Let's dive into that next. Alright, let's talk about food. You've probably heard the phrase, "you are what you eat." And when it comes to your brain, that couldn't be more true. What you put on your plate can either support your brain or leave it feeling sluggish and foggy. The good news is, there are plenty of delicious foods that not only taste great, but also give your brain a boost. Let's start with one of my favorites, fatty fish. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, fish? Really? But hear me out. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines are packed with omega-3 fatty acids, which are essential for brain health. Omega-3s help build cell membranes in the brain and improve communication between brain cells. In fact, studies have shown that people who eat fish regularly tend to have slower rates of cognitive decline as they age. If you're not a fan of fish, don't worry. You can get omega-3s from supplements or plant-based sources like flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts. Another brain-boosting superstar is blueberries. These little berries are loaded with antioxidants, which protect your brain from oxidative stress and inflammation. Some research even suggests that blueberries may improve memory and delay brain aging. I love adding a handful of them to my morning oatmeal or yogurt. They're sweet, refreshing, and so easy to incorporate into your diet. And then there's turmeric. This golden spice has been used for centuries in traditional medicine and now science is catching up to its benefits. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, has powerful anti-inflammatory properties that can cross the blood-brain barrier. It's been shown to help clear amyloid plaques, which are linked to Alzheimer's disease, and may even boost mood and reduce symptoms of depression. Try sprinkling some turmeric into your soups, stews, or scrambled eggs. Or better yet, make yourself a warm cup of golden milk by mixing turmeric with almond milk, a touch of honey, and a pinch of black pepper. It's soothing and delicious. Now, while we're on the topic of food, let's not forget hydration. Staying hydrated is crucial for brain function, yet many of us don't drink enough water throughout the day. Dehydration can lead to fatigue, confusion, and difficulty concentrating. All things we want to avoid. Keep a water bottle nearby and sip on it throughout the day. If plain water feels boring, add a slice of lemon, cucumber, or mint to give it a little flavor. And here's a tip. If you notice your lips feeling dry or your urine is darker than usual, it's a sign you need to drink more water. Speaking of habits that keep your brain sharp, let's move on to the fourth one, getting moving every day. Exercise isn't just good for your body. It's fantastic for your brain too. When you exercise, your heart pumps more blood to your brain, delivering oxygen and nutrients that keep it healthy and strong. Regular physical activity also boosts the production of chemicals in the brain that support memory, learning, and emotional regulation. But here's the best part. You don't need to run marathons or spend hours at the gym to reap these benefits. Even light activities like walking, gardening, or dancing can make a big difference. One study found that older adults who walked regularly had larger hippocampi, the part of the brain responsible for memory, compared to those who were sedentary. So lace up your sneakers and take a stroll around the block. Invite a friend along, listen to your favorite podcast, or simply enjoy the fresh air. Every step counts. Now, let's transition to the fifth habit, which is all about calming your mind. Stress is something we all deal with, but chronic stress can wreak havoc on your brain. It shrinks the hippocampus, impairs memory, and increases the risk of mental health issues like anxiety and depression. That's why finding ways to manage stress is so important. One of the most effective techniques is mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation involves focusing on the present moment without judgment. It's about paying attention to your breath, your thoughts, and your surroundings without letting them overwhelm you. Research shows that practicing mindfulness can increase gray matter in the brain, improve focus, and reduce stress levels. And the best part? You don't need any special equipment or training to get started. Just find a quiet spot, sit comfortably, and take a few deep breaths. Focus on the sensation of your breath entering and leaving your body. If your mind starts to wander, and it will, that's okay. Gently bring your attention back to your breath. Even 10 minutes a day can make a noticeable difference. Now that we've covered how food, movement, and mindfulness can keep your brain sharp, let's move on to the final habit, which ties everything together beautifully. All right, let's talk about the sixth and final habit, something that often gets overlooked but is absolutely essential for keeping your brain young: quality sleep. I know. Sleep might not seem as exciting as puzzles or blueberries, but trust me, it's one of the most powerful tools you have for maintaining a sharp mind. Think about it this way. When you sleep, your brain goes into cleanup mode. It flushes out toxins, consolidates memories, and repairs itself. Without enough rest, your brain simply can't function at its best. Here's the thing. Many seniors struggle with sleep issues, whether it's trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking up too early. If that sounds like you, don't worry. There are simple steps you can take to improve your sleep hygiene. First, try to stick to a consistent schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. This helps regulate your body's internal clock. Second, create a relaxing bedtime routine. Maybe it's reading a book, listening to calming music, or doing some gentle stretches. Avoid screens at least an hour before bed because the blue light from phones and TVs can interfere with your ability to fall asleep. And finally, make sure your bedroom is cool, dark, and quiet. A comfortable environment makes a huge difference. Now, let's bring everything together. We've talked about 6 habits that can help keep your brain sharp and focused after 60. First, we started with waking up your brain through mental exercises like puzzles or reciting the alphabet backward. Then we moved on to staying socially active and engaging in meaningful conversations. From there, we explored the power of brain-boosting foods like fatty fish, blueberries, and turmeric, along with the importance of staying hydrated. Next, we discussed how physical activity, even something as simple as walking, can nourish your brain with oxygen and nutrients. After that, we dove into mindfulness meditation and how it can reduce stress and improve focus. And finally, we wrapped up with the critical role of quality sleep in keeping your brain healthy and resilient. Each of these habits is small on its own, but when you put them together, they create a powerful foundation for a sharper, healthier brain. The best part? You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Start with 1 or 2 habits that feel manageable and build from there. Remember, progress doesn't happen all at once. It's about making small, consistent changes that add up over time. I want to leave you with this thought. Aging is a natural part of life, but how we age is largely within our control. By taking care of your brain now, you're investing in a future where you feel vibrant, engaged, and capable. And isn't that what we all want? So, which of these habits resonates with you the most? Are you excited to try a morning puzzle, swap out snacks for blueberries, or start meditating? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. While you're down there, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another tip or trick for living your best life. We're building a community here, and I'd be honored to have you as part of it. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope you leave feeling inspired and equipped to take charge of your brain health. Here's to staying sharp, staying strong, and living life to the fullest at any age. Until next time, take care of yourself and your amazing brain.